My biggest concern for the future is climate change. Real wealth is never measured in money or possessions. Conservation is survival of future generations. Real love is not the stuff of pop songs. If I were an animal, I'd be a lion. Plants have feelings too. Junk food's popularity relies on marketing. The world is a smaller place these days. The more we communicate, the less we really say. When I grow up, I will live in the countryside. Milk is often turned sour by a thunderstorm. The cliff was being climbed by the boy. Will those happy days ever be forgotten by you? Wealth is desired by all and acquired by some. His warnings were laughed at. The child was made to drink the milk. The topic for discussion is usually related to the topic for speech. Do you know any family that needs help? Does the government in your country help families that need help? Sophia has been taking care of her sick brother for the last 6 months. Her baby cannot fall asleep unless she stays in the room. I don't know what to say. When you're in London, write an email to me. I'm going home whether you like it or not. The beggar was laughed at by children. The thief was caught by the guard. The enemy barracks was attacked by the soldiers. All the milk was drunk by the cat. Snuff is taken by the old man. With a little effort anything can be accomplished. Do you know how to ride a snowboard? However, we've lost the match. They worked hard for the test, but they failed. If they were older, they could go to the party. Take your mobile with you in case you miss the bus. He looks very fit in spite of his age. They didn't go to the party, and neither did I. Neither drinks nor food are allowed in this room. Do you like tea or coffee? Since he's lost his money, he couldn't go to the restaurant. There are many theories linking this to global warming. As if overnight, we seem to be plunged into the start of winter with low temperatures. Weather is very Christmassy this year, with some snowfalls and sharp morning frosts upon us already. As you couldn't see the film, we'll tell you something about it. She goes to the tennis club because she likes to play tennis. He reads magazines, but he doesn't like to read books. I'm sorry, Peter is ill and I can't come either. We can either go to the cinema or to the cafe. She likes swimming, even in winter. Don't drink any alcohol even if you drive carefully. I go for swimming 1 day a week. You cannot complete your test at this rate of writing progress. What a beautiful way to celebrate an anniversary. Try to explain your point of view, please. The delivery period is approximately 4 months. Good weather is the main ingredient of an enjoyable holiday. Weather here is unpredictable. We're experiencing a warm current, without which it would be much colder. We require a large land mass to give more settled weather. This is earliest that we have had snow for many years. The cost is now very reasonable compared with what it was a year or so ago. I am now well into reading the book from cover to cover. I have tried to keep up with the year's event. We all need to relax and unwind even more these days. I hope to work less hours each week for less pay. We are already halfway through the year. It will take a while for everyone to settle down. I have gotten busy at work again, working long days. We have a plan which will be put into action. One piece of good news to come out of this week is a movie. The Winter Olympics are only 2 months away, with the start being made on 12th of February. That will give me a lot more leisure time than I have now. Races were held up here until the last 7 days. Things are there on the horizon. We drove the car until the tank ran dry. Evidence suggests that the human brain changes shape in response to the way it is used. He had a sore throat, so I gave him my bottle of water and told him to keep it. Currents work in the same way. Long thin wires have more resistance than do short thick wires. The turning point in our company came with the successful takeover. It was evident that Prince Andrew was not interested in such abstract conversation. Free people establish government to protect their rights. New products are driven not by some central authority but the free market. Sleep came without definition, as did the dream. The crisis is still a pivotal element in any constitutional law course. Her plan was to approach the building from the back parking lot. I thought I would begin with a quote from one of the most famous economists of all time. She felt comfortable enough now to approach that intimate conversation. You should add the remaining laptops into the pile over there. My mom made a milkshake with frozen bananas and chocolate sauce. A true friend never gets in your way unless you happen to be going down. The tree that's beside the running water is fresher and gives more fruit. Your mind is stemming with ideas and not just randomly. In order to be happy oneself, it is necessary to make at least one other person happy. To understand this problem, consider our relationship with knowledge over the centuries. With security and comfort came leisure, and the mind of early man. In spite of being a mediocre athlete at best, Dean had thrived on sports. How did you know that I was going to have a peanut butter sandwich for lunch? The hardest arithmetic to master is that which enables us to count our blessings. Handsome faces and corrupt hearts enact a large portion of the drama of human life. That boy is so mean that he doesn't care if a door slams in your face or if he cuts in line. The moms and dads all sat around drinking coffee and eating donuts. Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. A happy marriage is a long conversation that always seems too short. Are you going to have a blue birthday cake for your next birthday? The research looked at neighborhood cooperative schemes such as community gardens. I went to the dentist the other day and she let me pick a prize out of the prize box. For 20 years, I have worked as an instructor and a professor in biochemistry and biophysics. In fact, engineering science is an extremely abstract and theoretical science. My contention is that creativity now is as important in education as literacy. My Band-Aid wasn't sticky anymore, so it fell off on the way to school. Cells are the smallest units of an organism. After all that thinking, talking, and listening, I expect everyone will be a bit weary. The chocolate chip cookies smelled so good that I ate one without asking. Knowledge can be acquired by observing nature and its phenomena. For so long, science remained entangled with superstition. Researchers calculate the difference between willful and passive response to stimuli. I complimented him on his brilliant success in the examination. Brand physique goes beyond mere physical brand characteristics. Marxism includes a theory of history with prescriptive prognoses for the future. We often err when it comes to concentration and perception. Blurred visuals usually come when either we are in deep thoughts or are otherwise distracted. Each statement or observation needs thorough investigation and verification. Scientific laws demand induction from facts and not deduction from dogmas. The causality theory states that for every effect, there is a cause. When I called his residence in the morning, he was still in bed. The paradox is that the computer is man-made but seems to promise a non-human precision. We need to guard against the onslaught of digitized images and our dependence on them. Brutus joined hands with Cassius and assassinated Caesar. The tendencies and instincts of the reptilian brain are strongest and most primitive. When a person is intimidated, in self-preservation he does everything to save his life. Why is one compelled to react to negative emotions so strongly and irrationally? The strongest of emotions can be overpowered by introspection. Bioremediation methods have been experimented to clear oil spills using bacteria. Monoculture crops are susceptible to pests and require a lot of pesticides to prevent damage. Detoxification of the contaminated sites is expensive and time-consuming. Self-esteem is a person's subjective appraisal of himself as positive or negative. You need not see him today, send an email. There is a special emphasis on research and development of high technologies. Science is knowledge of certain phenomena found under certain conditions. Humans are explorers, and as explorers, we like to map our discoveries. If their aspirations are not achieved, they become gloomy. New problems can only be solved by thinking and reaching beyond narrow disciplines. Natural selection is a very complex phenomenon and has baffled the smartest of brains. Wisdom is knowledge about certain principles and causes. Most involuntary muscular movement is necessary for existential survival. Global warming would mean flooded rivers, submerged sea coasts and disruption in agriculture. Living organisms adapt to changing environmental conditions. Computers can store complex objects consisting of both data and programming instructions. Storytelling is a common teaching technique in many countries. Folktales are passed orally from generation to generation. Books for children often contain many beautiful illustrations. Generally, young children around the world enjoy listening to stories. Most adults need around 8 hours of sleep every night. There is disagreement among researchers about why we dream. It's important that people with responsible jobs get plenty of sleep. Before electric lighting, adults generally slept about 8 or 9 hours per night. Even now, scientists still don't know whether animals dream while they sleep. One theory says that dreams help the long-term memory. It isn't certain whether or not other animals dream. During some stages of sleep, your eyes move rapidly behind your closed eyelids. Fatigue is a factor in a significant portion of road accidents. Some of the worst accidents in history have been linked to sleep deprivation. Elephants spend some of their sleeping time standing up and some of it lying down. Exercise isn't so important for survival in modern times. The tallest skyscrapers are known as super-tall skyscrapers. Sleep science is a very active area of research. We do a lot less exercise than our ancestors did. Style is very important in the design of buildings. Scientists still aren't sure why we need to sleep. The biggest health problem in many places is lack of exercise. There must have been some ingenious architects in the past. We know that sleep is essential for normal life. In some countries, sporting activities are compulsory even for university students. Despite the engineering difficulties, buildings continue to get taller and taller. Lack of sleep can lead to changes in behavior. Market research surveys may be given by telephone, the internet, or in person. Often the point of advertisements is to raise awareness, rather than give information. It is normal to wake up several times each night. Advertisements have to appeal to people of different ages, socioeconomic groups, and sexes. To develop leadership skills, experience is very important. Some species of birds can sleep while they are flying. Adverts might use humor, drama, or catchy slogans to grab people's attention. Becoming a great leader is impossible without enthusiasm. Having a shower before going to bed can help you sleep. Marketing involves many activities, including doing research, developing products, and promoting them. Sometimes ads promote a brand rather than a particular product. The amount of sleep that adults need doesn't change as they get older. Basically, marketing is about making people want to buy. In most cases, quality products don't need much advertising. Introverts as well as extroverts can be inspiring managers. Communication skills can be taught to anyone willing to learn. Usually, but not always, reviews provide an unbiased source of information. Even during leisure time, you can hear attempts to persuade or influence. Farmers in Asia will need to produce more rice in order to feed the increasing population. We would use his brushes in new and interesting ways. Surprisingly, some people actually enjoy watching advertisements on television. Nowadays, persuasion is an important area of research within social psychology. In the art gallery's main hall, there is a nice sculpture carved from stone. Advertisements are all around us wherever we go, whatever we do. Politicians and marketing professionals have a good understanding of persuasion. Robotics is the science of developing robots.